We need your support. Click the like buttons below. Now onto the video. Welcome to readtheticker.com. Today we're going to talk about conditions. Now, if you decide to go swimming in the ocean, you're going to look out the window and decide if it's warm, if it's sunny. And if you decide to go snow skiing, you're going to look out the window and see if there's snow, if it's cool. Now, if you want to do the same thing in the stock market, you want to know what is the favourable condition to invest in the stock market from this point to that point. Now, I'm going to start with a conclusion because a lot of people can't last more than 30-40 seconds in a video. So the conclusion is, once the Nasdaq rolls over, it's over. That is the market top for 2020 or 2021. Once the Nasdaq, which is the most powerful momentum growth index, once that rolls over decisively, it's over. If you want to know why, stick around for the rest of the video. So here's the Nasdaq here, and at the top we have the S&P 500. Now the S&P 500 is made up of 500 stocks, but as we know, probably about 60 to 70 stocks carries it higher. And the Nasdaq is made up of 100 stocks, and about 10 or 15 stocks can carry this higher through market capitalization calculations. We all know them, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, those sort of things. Okay, and here we have in the blue line, this is the value line geometric index. The value line geometric index is about 1,600 companies, and if you put $1,000 into each company, this would be your performance. It's like an equal weighted. So if you put $1,000 in every stock of these 1,600 companies, this would be your performance. So it tells you whether the internals of the market is performing well or not. And as you can see here, just comparing this value line geometric index to the S&P 500, a lot of people were selling the inner market, even though we made a new high here. And when the market crashed, a lot of selling took place, and it hasn't made really much new highs. It's just testing old support. But here we can see here it's rallied up here. This is because the market capitalization leans toward the two favorite stocks. So the value line geometric index says breadth is breadth, which is the width of the stocks and how many stocks internally are selling and how many are buying, is giving a huge warning. For example, here a 2007 top, a lot of selling took place and we had a new high. A lot of selling took place here and we still had a new high. If I scroll down here, as you can see here, we had new highs in the Nasdaq, and we've got obviously new highs here and here. Because the market capitalization of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq can be moved by a few stocks. So what we want to do is compare, in a formula matter, the Nasdaq, which is the highest momentum stock index, with the value line geometric index. So I've merged those two indexes together, and I get a custom index build called Favorable Stock Investing Condition. So what we have here now, if we compare the 2000 on top, everything turned sad around just before the September 11th, right? Just when the Nasdaq started to roll over, everything started to go bad. Okay, because this is the momentum. These are the momentum stocks which hold the market up while others are selling the internal stocks. It's like Punch and Judy. Look at this hand, but don't look at the other hand, right? So here we have the same situation here. This period of time here, excuse me, just double click that. This period of time here, as we have here, is the Punch and Judy show. Look at this hand, but don't see what the other hand is doing. While this was going on here, lots of selling was going on. Okay. Same here, but it was a lot quicker here because of the subprime crisis. But we have a lot of money sort of money printing going on here, which has held this up. So you have to be aware that the favourable stock index condition has deteriorated after this point in time here. So for it to change, to become more bullish, the wider market would have to be bid up. That is, the value geometric line index would have to show a lot more selling in the internal area, internal stocks. But as you can obviously understand, a lot of the wider stock market is going to be suffering because the liquidity in the wider stock market is poor. So people have been selling to get out, or funds have been selling to get out. And obviously with the COVID concern going on, is that a lot of companies are obviously going to be struggling, and there's uncertainty. No one knows the future earnings per share of these companies. So it's unlikely that this will recover. The exception, massive money printing, i.e. hyperinflation defence. So if inflation creeps up, you want to protect your funds against falling purchasing power, and all hyperinflationary stock markets go up. So that would obviously see a value line geometric index rise, and people say, well, you know, my $10 is only worth $8 today, so the only way I can defend it is buying some assets. That's about the only exception. But that's not, there's no inflation out there, so it's unlikely to happen. So what does it mean for the wider market? My point is, as I said in the conclusion, once the Nasdaq starts to roll over, that means the big boys have held the market up long enough to adjust their portfolios, to raise cash, to hedge their positions, to build up shorts, and they're ready for a downturn. When would this be? Well, obviously, I believe people have calculated anywhere between $6 and $15 trillion has been used to defend the COVID smash. So I would suggest after the elections is going to be a real ripe time for a pullback of the liquidity. And down below here we have banks, as the bank stocks show deterioration, and we have FedEx, which is obviously a deterioration from the global supply chains struggling. And whenever FedEx is rollover, it's never that good. So banks obviously not good. So the conclusion is, once the Nasdaq begins to roll over, it will confirm the lower highs of this custom-made favourable stock investing condition. Now, if you're a member, you just type in RTFAV and use it for your studies. It's a merger of the value line geometric index and the Nasdaq. So it's a merger of the largest momentum versus the most realistic index. So keep an eye on the Nasdaq. Thanks for watching.